Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to the iRacing Esports Network and welcome to the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. We are here in the heart of America. We are in Leeds, everyone. Marching on together and all that. But no, we're in Leeds in Alabama for the Barber Motorsports Park. And I'll tell you something. Well, I'm Andrew Woodhouse and alongside Adam Bath. And I'll tell you what, Adam, the weather here is probably slightly better than it has been in Leeds, England over the last few days.
20 degrees Celsius. What's that all about? Yeah, looking forward to this one. Barber Motorsports Park, a scene I think maybe both of us have actually managed to have a go in this series over the years. I think back then it was in the Kia, but now we're in the Audi and we're getting set for the third race of the season. And in these shortened seasons, we're pretty much racking up the miles pretty quickly here, so I think we're quickly approaching a 1/4 distance of the season. So time's starting to fly by, and we're starting to get used to the new paints, the new teams, the new format as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what's going to happen again here today. As we've got the points on the screen.
Yeah, we've got some points on. I think the points are the wrong way around, ladies and gentlemen. So I think we can. There's all sorts going on with that. We'll leave it on the screen, and you can have a look. You can digest that yourselves. But I love this track, Adam. I think it's fantastic. It's really technical. There's some great sections. There's some sections where you really have to commit as well. Some fast chicanes, some undulations. Really does have everything, including the fact that it's very hard to overtake. And what that means is, I think, I think Sam Kumo is going to have quite a job on trying to find the battles. You know, there's going to be so many battles going on that, well, it's going to be all over the place.
This has just come to me in my head, but it's almost like a bit of a mini Mugello in a way. Quite a few chicanes, and I think it's going to be tough for the F1 cars when they go there. But the cars like this, for the touring cars, I think it's going to be fantastic. There's a bit of undulation as well, as here we are looking at Pete Newman in the qualifying session. Some decent overtaking opportunities like this hairpin that we've got coming up here. So I think, yeah, we are in for a good show, especially with the triple chicane as well coming up just after this hairpin.
I tell you something, if you look at the two layouts side by side, which I've just done, you know what? There are quite a lot of similarities between Mugello and Barber, including the fact that it turns round on itself in the middle of the lap. And yeah, I mean, that's a great call.
I'll let the people in the comments discuss that one at length. But
that's a great corner there. We just saw Newman go through that fast chicane. Yeah. That's really nice. And in a front-wheel drive car, it's a very difficult corner as well. And I had the pleasure a few years ago of racing here in IndyCar series, the iRacing IndyCar series, and it was a blast in those cars as well. Tricky, but a lot of fun.
What was the aero like in that? Were you able to follow one another pretty closely in that?
The following wasn't too bad, but trying to get a run on people to make a move was pretty tough. Reminded me of the races at Alton Park that we did as well, a very similar sort of thing where not many heavy braking zones. That hairpin down there, which we're seeing David Baker go through now, it's certainly a big overtaking spot, but you still got to have a lunge, you know, even in a touring car, mostly to make that move stick. Harrison once again fastest in practice. We've seen, I think he's been fastest in practice in all 3 race meetings so far, and yeah, managed to have a good meeting last week with a second place in race 1. So, you know, if he can bring it together, he's going to be a title contender, I'm pretty sure, with that kind of pace.
It's been a pretty good start to the season for HM Engineering. They might not have had too many results. I'm not too sure what happened last time else in round 2, but they've definitely got the pace.
Mixed bag, I think, yeah.
They showed the pace in the media day. They've clearly shown the pace in the first 2 race meetings of the season. So maybe today might just be their day. Pure Sims Esports as well have had a good start to the campaign too, with Baker, McFarlane and Blackhall all inside the top 5 in the standings. And some of the contenders from last season, Ross Balfour, Josh Thompson and Jack Sedgwick in the top 10 as practice gets ever closer to a close as well. So yeah, really a big list of possible contenders for race victory and potentially pole position as well when we get the qualifying session going in, or just over 15 seconds.
Yeah, early start for us really. This early into this deep into practice, but yeah, a lot of good movement on the screens in the practice session, and some drivers really putting together excellent laps. Fastest lap, just to give you an idea, and we'll compare it to the qualifying laps in a moment. 129.66 is Kieran Harrison's fastest time in practice. So look for the drivers to go a bit quicker than that. Less than a second still separates the top 20, and we're going to have a good shootout, I think, here for pole position, just like we had last week. Ash Sutton started on the in second position last week, and he managed to get the better of Harrison in the race when it was a very close race with several overtakes on both sides. Of course, some new cars coming to iRacing in the build in a few weeks. We found out that the Great American car, the Chevrolet Corvette, coming to iRacing, the GTE version, and the LMP2 car, Adam, which I've been looking forward to for a long, long time.
It's long overdue, isn't it? We had is the HPD finally going to be put into retirement? I
It'll be
wonder.
another. There'll be yet another car that I can be criminally slow in. Yeah, but we're going to try it. We're going to try it at least.
I remember you and me once having a crack at the GT1s when they were all the craze when they came out,
Yeah.
like the DVR 9, and I think the Corvette was in that category as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, the old Corvette. Yeah, I never got on well with them though. I don't really know why, but I never quite got on well with those GT1 cars. That's the series. I tell you, it's a bit of a tangent while the drivers are on their outlap, but that was the series I used to love watching. Was the old FIA GT1 World Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I thought it was brilliant. I used to watch every race. It's a shame that it kind of. I mean, I know it became the Blanc Pan, didn't it, in the end? But I always used to love the format. I thought that there were some great drivers in it, and it just worked.
Well, with GT1s, I guess the problem was manufacturers weren't willing to put as much cash into it, were they, in the end? And I think that's why it
That's why it
evolved
all
into
changed to GT3, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And getting not as much backing off the factory, like you had Maserati with full factory efforts and stuff like that. Ash Sutton, incidentally, he does race in a touring car series in real life, of course. If you didn't know that, he races in the British Touring Car Championship, but he always seems to be racing in rear-wheel drive cars. He races for Infinity and that, I believe they're rear-wheel drive. And before that, he was racing in a Subaru, which was also rear-wheel drive. But in this series, he's racing a front-wheel drive car, and there he is as the first few laps start to appear on the timing tab.
I think the MG was front wheel drive, wasn't it?
Yeah, where he won the Jack Sears Trophy. Yeah,
With when he was driving with it was Josh Cook, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He got a win, didn't he? I think recently as well. Did Josh Cook? But Woodhouse at the top of the pile. We like to see that here on the channel. And Mark Woodhouse is 0.2 of a second quicker than Jamie Wilson at the moment, and that's the top 2 times out there. You can see all the rest of them on the screen. Some outlaps coming in if the drivers were, I guess, coming out of the pit lane, possibly behind the timing line. That might have triggered the timing line, but yeah, a few laps coming in. Trendell was very quick last week. He got on the podium in, I believe, race 1. So look for him to be up there in this one. 18th place at the moment. Alex Simpson had a bit of the fascination with the gravel in Japan last week, the first couple of races, but he had a solid meeting. Bad start in the first race, but definitely got better as the day went on. And the third race was a nice solid drive to, I think it was 11th or 12th. And some people watching might think, oh, well, 12th, it's not a great performance if you finish 12th. But, I mean, it is when there's 52 cars in the field.
Yeah, you're pretty much finishing in the top fifth of the field, which in series like Formula One or whatever, that would be a top 5
Fourth.
finish. So yeah,
4th and above, yeah.
So-
Which, I mean, you're not doing badly to do that. So there's Jack Sedgwick just in front of the Apex boys. Wojciech Svidovic had a good meeting as well last week.
There's a tricky chicane, the triple chicane that I think back in the Porsche Esports Super Cup days, that used to cause quite a lot of palaver if anybody tried to nudge one up the inside there. I wonder if we'll see something similar happening today in the ARLTC. And this is just, sorry to draw parallels with Mugello again, this is almost like the staircase section at the beginning of the lap, but we've got it at the end of the lap here as we rise over the crest and into a never-ending series of right-handers here to complete the lap.
Yeah, it really winds down on itself into this section, and I have seen moves done into that final left-hander, some surprise moves where a driver can do kind of what Gregory did there and just take a wider, a tighter line in, hammer the throttle. See there, that's what Johansson, I think it's Johansson, has done. Just almost a surprise move, even though he was let through. Oh, Ben Gregory sideways into turn one. That is true Ben Gregory style.
Simon Trendell to the top of the timing tower there, 1:31.063. Shows you that even with a whole load of traffic in front of you, you still can get a lap done in this series. You don't need to back off at all because of the threat of dirty air. If anything, you want to be as close to the cars in front of you at the right possible moment so you can pick up a very decent tow. And that's what seems to have happened, because he's at the top of the pile for Team Chimera, with Simmons second now for Apex Racing Team, just 92 thousandths of a second between them.
Yeah, he did qualify in the top 5 last week with Simon Trendell, so definitely got the pace in the car and in himself. Yeah, down the hill, a bit bobbly down there, and I think you want to try and hook a tiny bit of that bottom curve, don't you? The final curve, but don't hit too much, otherwise you just bounce around. This chicane is the one I was talking about before. I like that one, and then this one. This is a corner where you can get on the power earlier than what you think you can. But the exit is blind, so you can never quite spot that outside curb where you need to position the car for this long right-hander, as Adam was saying. Down onto the curb, get as far to the right as possible, because you're going to need a good exit to get onto the main straight, and that is exactly what Simon has done here. Can he improve on 131.06? No, he cannot, not this time.
32.
Balfour first.
Yeah, he's gone and put a 1:30.75, and look at that, he's managed to find a nice clear piece of track in which to set that fastest lap time. As there you go, taking a huge handful out of the inside curb there. Don't think he's broken anything, but I think he's ruined the lap anyway, and he allows a couple of cars to go by there. So no improvement just yet for Ross Balfour. But here is Ross McFarlane, who last time around did a 30.89. Wasn't enough to go to the top of the timing sheets, but let's see if he can this time. The reigning champion over the top of the hill. Look at that, loads of grass on the outside. You would no need to extend track limits here as they go into the final series of corners.
I remember, I ended up on my roof here against Wojciech Savirovic in about 3 years ago in this series now. In that very section, and yeah, not a lot of runoff, shall we say?
I'm glad you brought it up. I always feel like I always bring it up whenever we get it. Turnbull to the top.
Oh, it's unforgettable, is that? I mean, it was an all-time meme on the channel, I think, for quite a while.
What was it? It was like, are you alright with it? No, I'm not, I'm over, or something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. I was I was not in a particularly good way after I finished with it. It was a good battle, though, mind you. But I'll tell you what, I look at these times today and I look at the quality of the drivers, and I just think, well, I'd be 49th or something on the grid here these days, instead of, I think, second where I was running at the time or something in that other race.
Now, last season or back in those days, yeah, you would be eager to make sure you got in a reasonably good position because of the reverse grid wheel. But in this new format for this season, we now know what the magic number is, and that is 37. So if
yeah, that's slightly different to last week, I think. I think it was 35 last week, so
yeah,
slight difference.
So yeah, if you are if you finish in 37th place, you'll be on pole position for the final race of the day.
Plenty of Alan menu opportunities then for the drivers out there today. Not that we condone that, but it's always funny to see it. It's Michael O'Ducker in 8th place. I tell you what, this field is really one of the most competitive touring car fields I think I've seen, real or virtual. Because I mean, where the heck do you see 6/10 in the top 20? Even in the glory days of the WTCC, you didn't get that. Or even in BTCC Super Touring, you didn't even get such close grids as this. I mean, look at them. Look at that. Look at the top 5 there. And Mangan and Newman, identical times.
And this is without success ballast as well. It's a remarkable look. Yeah, identical times between Mangan and Newman in 4th and 5th. And as we enter the final 5 minutes in the session, you can even see just what lap times they've been setting there, and just
How
how
good would ballast be in this league, actually?
I think we'd have a different winner every race, pretty much. I think, wouldn't we?
Yeah, you'd really struggle to hang on, wouldn't you, if you had any extra weight?
Well, in this series, we know that, and we know from driving this car for 24 hours, just how the tires work, and once they're gone, you really are hanging on for the rest of the race. And granted, these races aren't too long, but once you get past half race distance and get towards the final quarter, you do then start to struggle. So imagine that with an extra 80 kilos, is it, for being number one in the BTCC in the car? Then you really are in dire straits.
I mean, 80 kilos. I mean, Martin Brundle always. What does he say? Something along the lines of every 2 kilos of fuel is like a tenth of a second or something, or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was something along those lines. And so Dave Baker goes fastest though, 1:30.444. One thing we are seeing is times a lot slower than they were in practice, but I think that's down to the track conditions. Of course, the racing line will be getting warmer as the driver's going round it, so tyre temperature higher, and that usually means in iRacing at least that lap times are slightly slower. Kieran Harrison, P2 still though, Adam. Still a good effort so far.
Yeah, 67 thousandths of a second behind. I'm sure he'd be pretty happy with that. The amount of cars that have set times, by the way, we've got 49 that have set times out of the 53 that have entered the session. So that gives you an indication of just how many cars we have got out on circuit. Highest Pro-Am driver is just inside the top 20, and that is Alex Torres, in the fiercely forward car. They've switched their lineup for a bit.
It's also a good indication that not many drivers have been thrown in the brig due to bad behaviour this week.
There you go. Yeah, that is even better news. Yeah, the only cars that haven't set times at the moment are Jake Blackwell, Preben Valle, then Fraser Smith and Tyler Vickery. So
I'm pretty sure those 3, apart from Vickery because he wasn't here last week, I don't think. I'm pretty sure those 3 had some crashes, so probably explains that.
Here is Kip Stevens, who is the last of the cars to set a time. He's in 49th place. Last time around, his best lap time is a 34.56, and remarkably, that's 4 seconds. Oh, to be fair, a 4 second gap covering the top 49 probably isn't that bad, really.
I don't understand really that. Surely he hasn't had a clean lap so far, because Kip is a good driver, and I very much doubt that's his actual pace. He must have a mistake in there somewhere to be 4 seconds down. Either that or he's been on the bubbly.
I got some delivered the other day. It was only Prosecco though.
What? No, it's still bubbly, it still counts. Stevens across then. Oh, that's better. There you go. He's gained 1.4 seconds, I think, there.
Decent lap time, and that shows you how much you can leap up the field if you set a quicker time. Just 2.7 seconds now off the pole time there, Kip, with that lap time to move within 2.7 seconds of Dave Baker. Here is Kieran Harrison about to complete another fast lap with just in the nick of time as well. He's got quite a big train following him. Over the line he goes, and he does a 31.1, which is 7/10 of a second slower than Dave Baker. And now he has to get out of the way and let one of the world's longest trains go by, as they all seem to be on their final runs with less than a minute to go.
There's not a heck of a lot of green on our timing screen at the moment, which is indicating that either the track conditions aren't quite coming to the drivers, or maybe the drivers aren't putting in great laps. Fastest first sector for personal best first sector, at least for Wojciech Svidovic, in 12th position. And let's see if he can do anything with this one. Currently just under 4/10 of a second down. Bounces across the curves. The power as early as he dares. A lot of understeer, of course, on the front wheel drive car. Let's see what his time in sector 2 is. Oh, he won't get the chance because, of course, the qualifying cuts off on 15 minutes, which still to this day, I say to this day, but I believe that never used to happen, did it? And that's why it's still catching me out.
Yeah, that caught me out as well. I thought I'd lost connection. Here is the starting grid then for the first race of the day. Dave Baker. Well, he'll be delighted with that. The Pure Sims esports car on the pole position. It's not often these days that Dave Baker gets a victory. He's ever so consistent.
Yeah.
But will he be able to get one today? He'll be starting at the front of the grid.
Oh,
Second,
by the way,
yeah,
Sam Fitzpatrick was very happy indeed that he got 2 6th places last week.
there you go. Well, hopefully he'll be ready for the number 1. Let's see if he can keep it going. His teammate Ash Sutton starting in 3rd, with Matt Turnbull in 4th. Then Jack Sedgwick 5th, then Ross Balfour in the 6th place, then Oscar Mangan 7th, Pete Newman 8th, Ross McFarlane, the reigning champion, in 9th, and Alex Simpson completing the top 10. Just 1,000th of a second incidentally between Mangan and Newman there. Craig Williams in 11th, then it's Wojciech Svidovic in 12th place, 13th for Josh Thompson, 14th for Jason Cooper, then it's Dennis Neidhart, Michael Evdoka, Simon Trendle, Adam Hadfield, George Simmons, and Philip Johansson, the Swede, completing the top 20. And I don't think we'll be able to cover all the grid before we run out of time, but some notable positions there. Richard Carlson, fellow Swede to Johansson, he's in 27th place. Mark Woodhouse, who we saw at the top of the timing pile early on, in 34th. Nathan Davis, the Welshman, 38th. Marcel Fritsch in 40th. Sean Gardner there for boosted 44th place, and then towards the rear of the field, we've got the cars that haven't set times, and they are Jake Blackpool, Previn Vala, Fraser Smith, and Tyler Vickery. They didn't set times earlier in the session, and they didn't set any times in the end. So 53 cars set to get turns loose here at Barber Motorsports Park. Here come the lights.
Well done, good timing as usual. Here we go. 5 lights coming on then. Lights are off and the race is on. The green flag man going absolutely mental on the stand at the top there, but it is a good start for Dave Baker, who's tried to keep it, but Kieran Harrison up the inside and through into turn 2, around the outside of 1, inside for 2. There's a crash there. It's a fiercely forward car in the gravel, not going forward at the moment. That is Damien Harris. It's going to be 53rd, Adam.
He's going to be gutted about that. He's very good in this car. Oh wow, it's all kicking off at the hairpin as we expected. There's a Craig setup shop car going very wide in the background. And look at this, we're nearly 3 wide as there's contact between one of the Core Sim Racing cars and one of the Pure Sims cars.
Yeah, it's Balfour and Sutton, I believe, there coming into contact. Oh, big issues at the chicane. Into the gravel goes George Simmons.
And that's Josh Thompson, isn't it?
Yeah, Thompson may have been the culprit there.
So
Harrison with the lead then, still parlaying that. Great practice time, then a P2 in qualifying. And that's a slowdown, I think, for one of the OBP cars. That's Michael Evdoka.
And he's battling away one of the Freem cars. That's Jamie Rushworth. Up the inside there goes Michael Evdoka. Through he goes, and watch out for the Hell Racers cars. That's the Swede there of Richard Carlson trying to get some places in the early going. But over the line we go to complete the first lap, and you're right, yeah, Kieran Harrison, the best possible opening laps of the race for him, and Michael Evdoka trying to get back by Eric Micker as well as they go into the first corner.
I'll tell you who's had a fantastic start, that's Adam Hadfield. He started in 18th place, he's currently up to 13th place and ahead of his teammate Jason Cooper. So they're running line astern at the moment in the middle of the field. In fact, just a few places ahead of the battle that we're looking at between Udoka and Eric Mickey. Johansson is ahead of them, and in the boosted car, I'm looking at the inside, that's Alex Neller, and he's just taken Rickard Carlson. So Carlson trying to fight back, the blue and yellow car, the Swedish driver, very patriotic colours there. Bit of orange on there as well. I said this last week, Swedish touring car drivers called Rickard. Pretty good history, Adam.
I can only think of one, and he did very well, didn't he? And he won it in a and he won it in a Volvo as well.
There you go. So that's like the ultimate strong link in Swedish chemistry if we're talking about FIFA. The inside for Nathan Davies. Oh, it's three wide into the downhill and then uphill chicane. Davies is going hard here in the first few laps. Car 73. There we go. Car 73, as I've made a mockery of technology once again there. Ash Sutton is in 4th place, and he set the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:31.614.
Yeah, he's managed to shake off the attentions of the 2 core sim racing cars. The Irish contingent fallen back just a little bit, and now he's going to try and chase after the top 3, which includes one of his Pure Sims esports teammates in Dave Baker, who's still trying to haggle Kieran Harrison for the lead, and a Pure Sim stablemate in Matt Turnbull, who is in 3rd place. So Sutton trying to get a move on, and he was 1/10 of a second quicker than Turnbull on that last lap, and a third of a second quicker than the race leader Kieran Harrison.
Yeah, Turnbull's having a really good season so far. One of the rookies. I say rookie, I mean he's a pro driver and he's at near the very front of the field, so it's only so much that description of rookie suits. There's a car off on the grass in the background. I think that might have been
Mika
Torres. Yeah. Oh, Eric Mickey was it? Yeah, the American, down to 31st.
And if you get offline or you end up with a slowdown penalty at this stage of the circuit, you really are gonna get hung out to dry, because everybody is so quick, and it's very much one line through this part of the course as well. And you can see here, I think he's just about getting back into a rhythm as Scott Malcolm for Team Mad arrives onto the scene.
Yeah, quite a lot of drivers were taking the Mickey there, and oh dear, I know, I'm sorry. He slots into 35th position, and this is Scott Malcolm versus Preben Vala, who started at the back of the grid, the Norwegian driver for TC Motorsport. You can see him here on board, very close to the back of Malcolm. And I tell you, Adam, when you're in behind these TCR cars, they do obstruct the view quite a lot. They aren't quite tall.
Yeah, it is, and I think when we were racing in the 24 hours, I think we had to adjust the seats quite a bit. And then when we got into any other cars, we were quite shocked just how high up we were, because yeah, the steering wheel's quite large, and
he's going for it.
He's not worried about that. He's trying to get up the field. Up the inside goes Vala, and is Scott Malcolm still on his outside? I think he might just be, because we can't see him from this rear view camera. So I think he is still alongside, and there you go. He's pulling back alongside going into the triple chicane, and he is just about clear of Vala there.
Behind them in the excellent not white and blue livery is Matthias Sauer for WS Racing, and then behind them is Marcel Fritsch in 39th place.
Race is 14 laps or 24 minutes, whatever comes first. As off goes Sauer there. Is he going to get passed by his teammate though in Fritsch? No, he doesn't. Behind them is Luke Kidsley for Hesketh Racing. Hesketh Racing drafting in another driver for this season alongside Nathan Davis and Johnston.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to hit the time limit, but it might be one of the races where we get reasonably close to it, which doesn't happen often in the championship these days. Jack Sedgwick sets the fastest lap in 7th place. It's funny because you look at his race performances and you sort of say, oh well, maybe Jack's got a slight weakness of qualifying, but he only qualified about 2/10 off of the lead, didn't he?
Yeah, very, very close. And 2/10 in this series is pretty it's not too shabby, to be fair. Look at this though, 2 core sim racing cars really going at it. Balfour full on sent it up the inside into the hairpin at the midway point of the lap, and now he's got behind him behind Oscar Mangan, I should say, Jack Sedgwick, who is in 7th place. So while these two drivers would like to try and keep up with Ash Sutton, they've really got their work cut out trying to keep the black and blue IDC car right behind them, because Jack Sedgwick, you would have thought he would have been a champion by now, but the dramatic series of events at the back end of 2018, or was it 2019?
Well, it was both, wasn't it? I think he had a shot at both. But I think last year was the one where, well, 2018 was the one where he led a lot of the beginning of the season, wasn't it? I think, and then, oh, I've got it confused.
I think it was
so many races.
Yeah.
But you're right. The upshot is he could and maybe should have won one title, but he'll be coming for that. Oh, massively this season, and that's Adam Hadfield forcing his way past Wojciech Svidovic. That's a good move, door handle to door handle. Svidovic going wide and onto the grass, and he's down into 14th place. He's under pressure from Dennis Neidhart.
See if Neidhart fancies it up the inside. Oh, Wojciech gives him just enough space. Good racing between the two.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
a bit of
good.
He forced the door open, and Norbert Leitner, the Hungarian, he might be able to take 2 for the price of 1 here, because he's now alongside the German.
You know, it's funny, some people say, look at that move and go, well, it was quite a bit of contact. It can't be a clean move. I think it was perfectly fine from Neidhart, because Svidovic tried to close the door, but he tried to do it too late, in my opinion, I think, that time. Norbert Leitner, most successful Hungarian touring car driver since Norbert Wickles. I've just made that up, but it might not be true.
Daniel Nage wasn't too shabby last season, was he?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. But Leitner in 15th place for HM Engineering. They've obviously got a good car, as Harrison is proving. So
yeah,
we'll see what Leitner can do in terms of moving forward in this one.
Norby has gained just the 1 place since the start of the race, driving for .exe Esports, and he's trying to get some. Norbert Leitner's gained 8 places for HM Engineering, but Dennis Neidhart for .exe has just gained the 1 since we got going. Back with the fight for, well, reverse grid places. If the checker flag was to fall now, Previn Valor would be looking forward to starting on the 3rd row of the grid as he tries on the 2nd row of the grid as he tries to keep behind him Toby Ward for Free Spires Motorsports.
Yeah, doing a good job. Valor put himself in reverse grid contention after starting at the very back. Oh, it's Kidsley. There's quite a bit of damage to that Hesketh Racing car. What happened to him? But it looks like he's had heavy contact on the front right corner. Let's see.
Here's the replay then. He's just going. He's just at the back of your shot there. He's with the 157 car, I should say.
Oh, he's just gone in too deep. Oh, and he's had a death wiggle. Oh. Yeah, he was side by side with Darius Neidhart. And yeah, just got it wrong, didn't he, Kidsley? That time. Under braking, a little heavy on the brakes. Just behind Sean Gardner, who's in 50th. You don't see him down there very often. John Roberts, 49th. Goodness me.
Yeah, this is right at the back of the field at 52nd place. It's amazing how they have pit stalls for all of them. Tracks like this, they hear tyres screeching, and I think Darius Neidhart is off. He is. The .exe car is just about responding. Oh, and somebody else is off. He's joined them. It's that is Austin Foster. Never mind Deso Pit. He's been deposited off the circuit there in the.
Very good. I'm sure, I can't remember who said it. Somebody said they thought he said deposit racing until they read it twice. Might have even been me. As Fraser Smith in 42nd, then he's another HM Engineering driver. We spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, after the first meeting at Spa, and he was quite confident of the season, and you know, thinking of getting some good performances in. He wants to make it into the top 10. Well, he's got it in. He's got his work cut out for him here. Something happened to Baker.
He's still in 2nd, I believe.
It was just Baker that was moving down my timing screen, so I think he's all right. There he is. But yeah, normally when that sort of thing happens, it's several people that drop down. But this occasion it was only him, so seemed a bit fishy, but he's all right, and he's right in behind Harrison, who, I tell you, not this isn't to diminish the efforts of Kieran Harrison at all, but this is one of the easier tracks to defend on. You can just kind of drive your normal lines as long as you don't make any mistakes. There's not a great deal the car behind can do. Now, it's possible that Baker might have a lunge into the hairpin, but you have to get a great exit off of this corner here, which has got a pretty good one, but it's quite a short run, isn't it, Adam? And he's not quite close enough this time.
I think one of the worst things you could do on this circuit is get too defensive, because if you block the inside line into here, then you're going to just understeer wide on the exit and then make it easier for the guy behind you as well. So Kieran Harrison is doing a very good job at the moment, and as you can see from looking from the rear view camera on his Audi RS3 TCR car, is that Ash Sutton, for all his efforts of trying to get to the top three, he's managed to bring along the Corse Sim racing cars, who were one of the quickest out of anybody on that last lap. Ross Balfour doing a 30.7. That was a tenth of a second quicker than all of the guys in front of him. So we might just have a 5-car scrap for the lead with just over 4 laps to go.
I was going to say, what a camera angle that was. Really like that. Get a really good view of the chasing pack behind Harrison. That's what he's going to be seeing in his mirrors. He's going to be looking in his mirrors quite often to see where David Baker is, and Matthew Turnbull as well, and Ash Sutton, and Balfour. And this train really goes back to Jack Sedgwick in P7. Then you've got those other 4 cars who are slowly... They're doing their best to catch, aren't they? They're not quite. Well, 2/10 quicker, actually, was Alex Simpson 2 laps ago, but then the last lap was 1/10 slower, so trying his damnedest to get on the back of this group with 4 laps to go, because he knows, and I think the guys behind Newman, Williams and McFarlane I think they know, Adam, that if they get within touching distance, it's anybody's game if it all gets a bit crazy at the front. This is one of these tracks where if somebody does get out of shape, or there is a battle going on, then it really can get interesting.
Yeah, if someone in front of you makes a small mistake at the triple chicane at the back end of the circuit, or through the quick S's in the second sector, there's nowhere really for you to go apart from lift off the throttle or crash straight into the back of them. So if you do that, you are going to lose.
Oh, here we go.
And over fifth, speaking of which, here we go. Curb riding, curb hopping. Here is Wojciech Savinovic. He's got a great view of it, but fortunately for him, Dennis Neidhart and Norbert Leitner avoid tangling with one another. So that's an indication of just what it's like. And look at this clobber the curbs through the S's, and that's not it. We're gonna have to climb up through the chicane again.
Jason Cooper's somehow got ahead of Hadfield. I'm not quite sure how that's happened, but it might have happened shortly after they got past Wojciech Savinovic here. Many times champion now. I've almost forgotten how many it is. Is it 7?
So yeah, he won in 2016. No, not 2016. Season 6. Then he won the Pro Series in 2016, 17, 18,
19.
As well. It's only won 5.
And then a couple of other series which count though, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Winter Series and things like that. I believe it's 6. It might be just 6. I like I say, I get carried away with how many it is. 75 times champion now. But it's like every
1
time.
1 million titles.
It's like one of those films where every time somebody mentions something, it gets more and more exaggerated. Now here's look at the state of Cooper's car. Hadfield goes round the outside on his teammate.
Whoa.
Oh, and Leitner. Car going light over the crest of the triple chicane, and actually he's been passed by Neidhart. So Neidhart's taking advantage, and he's through into the chicane. So that's nicely done by Dennis Neidhart, and that's exactly what you were saying as well. You make one mistake, there we go.
Might just have been the lesser of 2 evils there for Norbert Leitner, because he almost very nearly took out the Swift Cooper Esports car there, Jason Cooper. He had to be pretty lively with the steering wheel to make sure that didn't happen, and in the end he lost 1 place as a result, and now he's got Wojciech Savinovic right behind him. And off is Steve Berridge. Oh well, Boosted Simsport haven't had the best of starts to the evening, and he might just get passed there by one of the
Ah,
Test Cup cars. Here's the replay.
he's made some contact with that car in front of him, which may have been Harris, was it? There you go. It's not Harris, is it? It's one of the what are they called? WS racing cars that's crashed into, that they've made contact with there. So it's not Harris, although Harris doesn't have a bonnet. So he's had an interesting race.
Three laps to go then, including the one we're on. There is Lee Berridge, but here is our race leader, and he's starting to feel the pressure, if he hasn't done so already, from Dave Baker, who was just over a tenth of a second behind the HM Engineering car. Baker is so desperate to get back to winning ways. He won the title back at the back end of 2014. Back then he managed to do it by just winning one race. It's unthinkable now. And I think at one point he won more on the ovals when we briefly used to run a partial oval schedule in this series. I think he won more on them than he did on the actual road courses. So
yeah, twin ring Motegi was in there, wasn't it? And possibly Iowa as well, maybe.
Pocono as well, yeah.
Pocono, that was good, wasn't it? I'll tell you what, I do miss the series going to Pocono. I thought that was great. I've always wondered if maybe they should try and doing, if the car had longer gear ratios, I would say give Indy a shot. But what you want is an oval track with some substantial corners, really, that are going to test the front wheel drive cars. And this is Baker testing Kieran Harrison's resolve into the triple chicane then. Diving down the hill, bit of a roller coaster it seems. Good exit by both of them actually. They've gained a bit on Turnbull. Where's this move going to be done, Adam, if it is going to be done? I mean, the final corner is a decent shout for Baker because he's got half a second on Turnbull. He might be able to have a go. Harrison's going to have to be mindful that Baker might try something. But Harrison's done well through the back of the circuit, Adam. He's got a good little advantage there.
Well, one HM Engineering car is on the defensive. Here's one that's very much on the offensive, and that is Norbert Leitner trying to get by Dennis Neidhart with just over a lap to go. To get a move done into that penultimate corner, I think you really have to catch the car in front off guard. I think still the best chance to get a move done is the hairpin parallel to where this front straight is. So we'll see if Harrison can keep Baker at bay through that now, as the white flag is indeed in the air. Wojciech Savidovic also trying to get in the top 15 as well, as we are on the final tour for now of this circuit here at Barber Motorsports Park. Don't forget 2 more races to come after this. Next race will have 37 cars reversed. Up the inside there goes Leitner. He thinks about it. Has Neidhart got on the brakes in time? Yes, he has. And now the Swift Cooper Esports duo of Hadfield and Cooper are starting to feel the pressure as well from the Dottie XE car in the closing stages.
They are, but the race is almost over for Harrison and Baker. Nothing major on this lap so far, but Harrison's still got to keep it clean in this final sector in order to take the first win of the day. See if he can do it. Down the hill. Brilliant little corner this. Compression. Then into this long right hander. Is there going to be anything planned? Turnbull might have been thinking about it, you know, but didn't quite got the momentum. Oh, there's a thought about it by Balfour, but he couldn't quite do it. Kieran Harrison then for HM Engineering is going to take the win in the first race of the day here at Barber Motorsports Park. And Harrison, well, started second, and it was the start that did it for him, Adam.
Yeah, the start turned out to be crucial in the end. Meanwhile, here is the fight for a spot inside the top 20. We've got Campfield, Carlson, Nella, drag race to the line. Oh no, is Campfield out of fuel? Well, something is wrong, because he's lost a whole load of places, and in the end the Pro-Am car finishes 22nd. 3 wide across the line. Is that Josh Thompson involved? It's Simmons. The 2 of those were colliding at the start of the race. They finish very close to each other again at the end. And It's a fight for reverse grid pole. It's going to be Simon Trendle on pole for
word.
race 2, and a gaggle, you can pretty much say, across the line.
That just shows right there what happens to drivers when there's something tangible to fight for, because they were all over it in that last lap. Fantastic. There's Foster. We saw him off earlier on. He's the last one to finish in 50th position.
And just like that, we're on to race 2.
What? Already?
Yes. Yeah, we get ready to go. Here was starting grid. We called it. Simon Trendle on the pole position, with Scott Malcolm in second. Just ignore these lap times, I'd say. Eric Mickey in third. Then it's Toby Ward, Mads Borger, Alex Torres for Fiercely Forward in sixth. 7th for Previn Vala, then Ben Gregory, Jamie Wilson, and Adam Hedgecock completing the top 10. Just two pro drivers in the top 10 positions with their red markings. There's George Simmons. He's in 13th place. Mark Johnston in 15th. Top 20 rounded out by Jamie Rushworth of Freem UK, a former champion in this series. There's Leitner and Neidhart. We saw them battling at length during race 1. They're there in 23rd and 24th with Wojciech Savidovic just in front of them. And there you can begin to see the contenders at the front in race 1. Sutton in 34th, Turnbull 35th, then Baker in 36th place. And that means that in 37th will be the race 1 winner. That was Kieran Harrison. And after that, you've got all the cars that finished where they finished in race 1 with the likes of Fraser Smith, Jake Blackhall down in 41st, John Roberts, Kip Stevens, Sean Garner, Rob Sutherland, and then cars that were in strife during the race, the likes of Luke Kidsley and Lee Berridge, and more, Darius Neidhart, Marcel Frischen and Austin Foster. Starting at the back for this one is going to be Joachim Gulbrandsen. He'll be in 53rd place if he does indeed grid up. And without further ado, we're getting ready to go for race 2, I believe. Can't see many cars gridding on my screen, but that might just be me.
No, same here actually. Gridding is happening a little bit slower than maybe anticipated, but it is coming.
I guess we must have a longer gridding phase for race 2, I guess.
Yeah, maybe that was just like a bridge, and then we've got the grid. I'm sure. The funny thing is, I'm sure last week when we did this, that the grid came up like you say, and then we were away at the end of the sort of the 2 minutes. But yeah, maybe a little bit more time given this time, and you know that will no doubt help a little bit.
Bit longer than
the storm, then Adam, I think.
Yeah, I think we've retreated to a safe distance here from the helicopter to see them get turned loose for race 2, and just to
be good.
Just a reminder that for race 3, if you finish in the top 30, you are reversed you're reversed onto pole for race 3. There you go. Here come the lights.
Here we go then. This is going to be frenetic. Everybody, hold on to your hats. The green light is on. We're away. Good start by Trendell. Brilliant start actually from pole position. Eric Mickey in second place, side by side with Scott Malcolm. Malcolm's fighting this position hard, as he knows overtaking is tough. If he can get ahead and stay ahead, well, he might be able to make a break for this P2. As Toby Ward, contact there on the straight, on through the kink. Don't know if Ward's got damage. He might get to the corner and realise he's got issues, but 3 wide. Up the inside goes Torres, having a look as well. I think most of them are okay, Adam, after that. Most of them.
Famous last words. Let's see what happens when we get them through the chicane as well. Toby Ward there, who's managed to shake off that little bit of contact that we saw when we went over the top of the hill. There's Adam Hedgecock fighting away with George Simmons in the early going. Mark Woodhouse there for Team Mad, also getting his elbows out in the early stages, and just look at all those cars at the back. We've got about 5 wide in some places there, I would say.
Oh, that was Davidovic going, just going for it into the chicane. Great commitment. He barely had his nose in front, but he managed to get in there. That's Hadfield battling away with, I think that is going to be Ricard Carlson. Trendell still leads then. Malcolm in second, Mickey in third. Oh, Mickey's dropped down behind Torres, so Torres into third.
Cars swarming all sorts of different directions through that final corners outside, that final complex of corners outside the top 30. Car 8 in the Apex Racing team that is off out on the exit of the final corner. That is Wojciech Savidovic, and he's going to get passed by a few cars yet again going through the first corner. And there's cars scattering everywhere.
Yeah, Sutton was off, and I think he's going to have to try and fend off. I would imagine that's Harrison just behind. So Hadfield. Might not be Sutton actually, I'm not quite sure who that is. It might be a Ducker actually. Might just misread the colours there.
End of the first lap though, it is Trendle that leads, then Malcolm in second, then it is Torres for fiercely forward, and then it's Vatalo, I should say, in fourth, and then the American. It is home race in fifth place in Eric Mickey.
Look at the lead Simon Trendell's got there. 3.95 seconds already.
Malcolm putting 2 wheels into the dirt on the exit. That will allow the fiercely forward car at the inside.
Oh no, look out.
Back across the circuit. And, well, you just knew that was going to happen. And the fiercely forward car of Torres has really taken the brunt of it on the front of the car. And Toby Ward is all over the place. Not sure what's happened here.
Yeah, it was always going to happen, that, I think, the way that they were battling into the corner. But yeah, Malcolm a bit overzealous possibly that time. Trendell 31.8, 4.7 seconds is the lead now. So he's well and truly vettling away from this situation. This is Thompson, who's got up into third position already. I'll put the cat amongst, isn't it?
Great job by Thompson. I bet you he's loving the fact that he's got a much cleaner front end after getting it severely knocked in the early stages of race 1 after colliding with George Simmons. So now he can show his representative pace, and he's flying. He's gained 9 places already.
Yeah, this is great stuff. He was disappointed with the first 2 meetings, Josh Thompson. But spinners. Bad rejoin there.
There's Blackhall backing it into the wall. And Fraser Smith's also in issues. Here's a replay from Damien Harris's perspective.
Harris has been in the war so far. Big dive down the inside of the HM Engineering car. Oh, it's all kicked off in front of them, and actually Harris ends up getting a face full of spun car. I'm not quite sure who that was actually, but yeah, Harris ended up, what was it, Balfour?
3 wide into the corner.
Ross, Ross got touched by Ward, I think, possibly. And then Balfour goes into the car on the outside of him, and then spins, then rejoins in the path of some other cars. It wasn't a great rejoin, I'll be honest, by Balfour, because, you know, strictly speaking, he probably had to wait for everyone else to go by.
Kip Stevens has made a beeline for the pits. Meanwhile, Josh Thompson is under pressure from Mads Borger Anderson there. Those two are very close going through the first couple of corners. Thompson is 7 seconds off the lead with 4 laps in the books. The car in front of him is not the leader, that is just second place Scott Malcolm. There's a fiercely forward car there of Torres. He may have picked up some front end damage in the collision with Malcolm, but they carry on nonetheless. And Adrian Campfield's dropping down the order. Problems for the other fiercely forward car. He's now down to 16th, 17th place now.
Yeah, something's gone on for Campfield.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah. Slow down, maybe?
Essentially, yeah. It looks like the car's all right now. He's in a fight with Woodhouse. But
Trendell's leading by 5.5 seconds. Vala in second, Thompson third, then it's Borger, then it's Torres. Eric Mickey's doing a good job in 6th as well. Ben Gregory 7th, then Simmons. Johnston, and the top 10 is completed by Adam Hadfield. Ash Sutton up 10 places from where he started. Jack Sedgwick up 10 places. Dennis Neidhart up 11 places. Hadfield up 16, and Woodhouse won't be up any places anymore. So he's gone, and that's one of the Hell Racers cars who's ended up getting spun. I think Ash Sutton is in the wars as well.
And yeah, that is one of the Pure Sims cars as well. They'll be heading straight back to the pits after that. That was on the exit of the S's. They got stuck together and then just went into the tyre barrier. Here it is on the replay.
Oh, Woodhouse went wide, and did he have damage? Possibly. Oh.
Not much that Pure Sims car could do for Sutton.
Woodhouse kind of drifted across the circuit, didn't he? I'm not sure whether, like I said, I'm not sure whether he had damage or whether it's just a weird line, but either way, that's a few drivers who won't be seeing the end of this race, at least in a decent position. Now Sedgwick, look at the position that he finds himself in. Got a car alongside him, look, you can see in the mirror. Oh, he did have the Freem car, that's Newman. Freem. Good word to say, isn't it? As ahead of Cedric is Cooper, and then it's Campfield. Campfield's trying it. Oh, good chicane. Very good chicane by Cedric, and a great run there.
Around the outside is he, Sedgwick. He's going to just about drift it around the outside.
He's still there.
Is he? We can hear the engine. There he is. He's on our outside, going through the long right-hander.
You can see him in the mirror at the top, look.
Oh,
contact. They're bashing door handles. They're still side by side. Finally, Cedric is through.
Great battle there, and that was over 17th and 18th on the track. That shows you how much they're fighting for these positions. Cedric now at 14 as he continues his pursuit to get in the top 15 here.
Fantastic stuff there. Really, really good. Thompson's close to within a second of Vala, sandwiched between two Norwegians. It's a Josh Thompson sandwich.
Manx sandwich.
Trendel's leading. Oh, there he goes. Dear me, that'll be a slowdown. They say you cut the course, but there's no doubt there. For Thompson. Flying over the triple chicane. He must have missed his braking point by quite some distance. You can see Josh Simmons in the background there. Just ahead of Mark Johnston. Thompson having served his penalty down to 1.6 behind Vala now. Hadfield and Johnston battling away, and there's Simmons in the foreground.
Mickey and Gregory also at it. Also Torres and Mads Borger Anderson. So fight over 4th and 5th, and that was Torres getting by. So that is him up into P4 and running wide in the background. There was Mads Borger Anderson, but he's been able to keep on the track.
Now I could be wrong here, but I do believe that Torres could be the first Spaniard in the championship since Adaicoba Lopez.
I think it would be right, yeah.
Several years ago. At least first full-time driver from Spain. For maybe 4 years or so.
And he was pretty decent. He won a title.
Oh, very good indeed, yeah. Very good. Have you seen any of his rally stuff that he does?
Really? Oh, I need to check that out.
He's very, very good indeed.
Here is George Simmons, who is an Apex Racing Academy coach in this car. Battling away with Mickey and Hadfield as well.
Just about gets through there, Simmons. Used quite a lot of curb in the triple chicane, but he got away with it. Apex Racing TV on the iRacing Esports Network. The ARL Touring Car Championship. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath with Sam Kumo bringing you the cameras on this one from Leeds, Alabama.
They like their English cities in that state, don't they? Because we've got Birmingham in that as well.
So, well, all the Americans ever did was either steal names from the Native Americans or the English. Let's face it, or the Mexicans.
There you go.
It's the hot take of the day there, isn't it? That's what they did. And then, like, New York, come on, guys, seriously.
On the
On
inside
the inside.
goes. It's two quarrelling drivers there. That's Hadfield and Eric Mickey, isn't it? Fighting over 8th and 9th. Maybe not on the US War of Independence, but this is just over 8th. It's over 8th and 9th as they go over the crest.
I would say that's yeah. Well, the Hadfield is trying to. It's going to be one for the Limeys, I think. In that, on the inside he goes and through into 8th place. Mark Johnston there, who, as a Northern Irishman, has never had any controversy about the borders of his country, and coming through side by side with Mickey now. Oh, I love that corner. I know I've said that 3 or 4 times already, but it's just such. It's a corner that's on the limit in nearly any car that you're in. Oh, interesting to see what lines they're taking as well.
Oh, so yeah, he did think of looking at the inside into the kink, but I think the tyres have just got enough life in them that where you can still defend going into the penultimate corner, because as the race goes on, it's going to become ever more tough. As here is Ben Gregory.
That's a great exit though by Hadfield. Oh, he's going right up against the wall. He squeezed past the white line. Diving into turn 1. It's a great move by Hadfield. Really good indeed. Yeah, he flashes the lights. I think that's a well done from Gregory. It's not an I'll get you later, I don't think, because Hadfield already pulling away. Trendell's lead is 6 seconds. He looks like he's settled into a comfortable pace now. Valor is still holding off Josh Thompson, and quite comfortably. So I'll be honest, I'm not surprised, but you know, it's definitely interesting that Valor has kept such great pace ahead of Thompson.
And Hadfield is our biggest mover in the field in total. He's gained 19 places since the lights went out.
Yeah, Cedric plus 17, Matt Turnbull plus 13, Luke Kidsley plus 16, 17 for Darius Neidhart, and Marcel Fritsch is up 15 places as well. You've also got, interestingly, Alex Simpson is last at the moment, so I don't know what's happened to him. He's still out there, but 49th, Adam, and he's been lapped. And you can see the damage to the Apex Racing car.
I wonder if he might have been involved in some of the shenanigans at maybe either the first corner or maybe in that whole situation down at the hairpin. But that's not good news for Alex, because
he's doing okay lap times though. He's doing 32s, so lap times are decent. Just must have been some incidents. Jake Blackhall started. Where did he start? He's 45th at the moment.
Yeah, he was involved in the hairpin incident, I believe.
Oh, so he's 30. Oh no, he's 45th. He's Blackhall. So
sitting in the magic 30 spot is, I believe, Toby Ward. Yeah, he's in the Free Spires Motorsport entry. There he is. So after being at the front at the start of race 2, he could be in the position to be elevated up to the front of race 3 again.
And that's Darius Neidhart, one of the biggest movers in the race, who won't be going any further. It's 5 cars off there.
74. That's Malcolm. Again,
there was a red car off in the grass, which might have been Gulbranson or Sutherland. Quite sure on that one.
Now here is the replay. Oh,
got locked together. Bang! Huge hit.
One of the black and gold cars. That must have been one of the WS Racing Esports cars, I think.
And the red car was one of the 3 Spires cars.
That was Rob Sutherland.
Yeah, it was Sutherland, yeah. Thought it could have been him. Then Malcolm was involved in that as well, and a few others. It's Sean Gardner, that's 44th place. He's got the best position here. Gregory in 8th position. Where did he start? He started in 8th place.
Memory's not the best. Memory's not the best. Have Team Chimera managed to get a victory so far this season?
I don't believe so. Trendle got third in race 1 in last week. Okayama. He win? Oh, no, that's something, isn't it? Slept since then, I'm afraid. I'll have to try and maybe try and find that out while we're going through the last couple of laps.
Yeah, 4 laps to go between the one we're on. When we get to the line, we'll be down to just 3 laps to go. Here is the fight then over a spot in the top 10. Eric Mickey has been holding his own since the start of the race. He has had a few pro drivers swarming around him, but here he is trying to keep a spot inside the top 10. Here comes Johnston, Hesketh Racing. You can't really get too much further away from each other in terms of geographically between these two. And
oh,
Johnston,
Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You've lost position 9, unfortunately, though, Eric Mickey.
Oh, Mickey. I know that song.
Feet 10 for him.
Oh, on the inside there goes Hadfield. He's trying to make it 20 places gained, but Simmons is making sure that he can't do just that.
Yeah, and Simmons has fought well in this race, up from 13th. Hadfield up from 26th on the grid, though. Really excellent.
Norman Leitner getting past Mickey now. And I think Eric Mickey's just dropping back a little bit in the closing stages, which is a shame. He's on the verge of falling down to 12th. He's going wheel to wheel here with Michael Avdoka into the triple chicane. Round the outside goes the Pure Sims car, and he has been able to get it done.
He was 7th in race 3, was Trendle in Okayama.
Through the S's, and Mickey has now got behind him Dennis Neidhart and Jack Sedgwick. So with just over 2 laps to go, he's going to have to put up some defence here against 2 of the biggest movers in the field so far. Neidhart's gained 11 places. Jack Sedgwick in the black and blue has gained 17, and he's trying to make it 18. Oh,
having a go there in the tight section. Oh, he might mug Neidhart here, but no, Neidhart carries the speed. And oh, what's he going to do into turn one? Look at how close they are.
Great onboard shot here from Sedgwick's car. Sedgwick's going to go to the inside. Is he going to go through the middle?
He can't. Is it possible? I thought he might try it, but very, very difficult indeed. 30th place still belongs to Ward, I believe. It does indeed. But we're watching the battle for 13th. Sedgwick. Oh, Mickey! Into him there. Bang again. And that's allowed Cooper to come through, and Cooper's no slouch at all.
Being a bit sticky here in the closing stages. Cooper running outside over the curbs. Jack Sedgwick's attentions have had to turn off the American to the fiercely forward car and the Apex Racing Team car and the Swift Cooper Esports car that are all right behind him.
Yeah, this is very good indeed. Very fast stuff. Very close racing. And look at Michael Avdoka. Michael Avdoka has just made a place on Mark Johnson. They were side by side through the back of the circuit. So, and still potentially, oh, Johnson not giving up at all. Final lap for Trendle then. It's been fantastic for him so far, 6.5 second lead. Sorry, Simon, we haven't given you any camera time, but haven't deserved any. You've been so far in the lead. Not made it interesting whatsoever, damn it.
6.5 second lead. I don't think we'll be seeing many leads as big as that over the course of the season. There's a Team Chimera car. He can afford to mirror signal, maybe even indicate going into that corner. He's got so much breathing space.
Valor is still ahead of Thompson. In fact, that could be the one that something might happen in the last few corners. I don't even think Thompson's close enough to even think about a moving up. Valor's driven a great race. Deserve this publish for sure. Simon Trendell, well, he started on pole position and he got an amazing start. He just parlayed that into one of the best drives that we've seen in quite some time in this championship. Absolute domination for Chimera. And coming through the final 2 corners then now, Simon Trendell, well, he could get out and push from here. It's time for the checkered flag, and it flies for Simon Trendell. Team Chimera. He wins here at Barber Motorsports Park. Oh, there's a crash at the last corner between Johnston and I'm not sure who that is. Neidhart, probably. Gregory and Cedric battling over the line. Cedric might just nick a place off of Gregory here, Adam. I think he has, and he's going to get 11th place.
Mickey trying to get some places very late on as well, but in the end I think he did lose a few to Sedgwick in the closing stages. Here's a fight for a position outside the top 30. These are just arguing on who wants to start in front of the other for race 3. This is Rob Sutherland and Jake Blackhall.
And some points as well.
Useful points.
Oh, come back, maybe. Stuff from here.
Might get him on the way to the line.
Great exit. What's going to happen? Oh, he's going to go for the inside. It's going to be close. Not as close as he would have liked, though, for Blackhall. Couldn't quite get Rob Sutherland. Sutherland gets 35th position. Here's Gardner.
Yeah, in NASCAR, I don't even think 43 cars are in a NASCAR Cup race these days, but but back when we used to watch it, this would be getting you at the back of the grid, Sean Gardner, as he comes across the line.
So many a time have I, on a NASCAR game or something of that ilk, seen you have qualified 43rd.
Still, at least you were quicker than the go or go homers.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go.
Right,
I should have gone home. It would have saved me valuable time.
Right, that is the end of race 2, and it is time for the 10-minute warm-up, which preludes the feature race, the final race of the day. So it gives us time to have a little look at the results, because we've been barely able to catch our breath since the start of race 1, and here are the results. It was Simon Trendell that wins race 2 from the pole position, lights to flag victory for the pro driver. Brevin Valor, top Pro-Am driver, plus he's managed to hold off Josh Thompson, who finished in 3rd. Alex Torres in 4th, then Mads Borger in 5th. George Simmons for Apex Racing Team in 6th. Then Adam Hadfield, Nora Leitner, Michael Avdoka and Dennis Neidhart for .exe completing the top 10. Jack Sedgwick 11th, then it's Ben Gregory, Eric Mickey in 3rd. Mark Johnston for Hesketh in a spot above her late on, but managed to still make it across the line. Jason Cooper in 15th. Then the number 8 car of Wojciech Savidovic in 16th. Adrian Campfield for Fiercely Forwards, then Craig Williams, Matt Turnbull, and then the top 21 completed by Pete Newman and Jamie Rushworth. Jamie Wilson, the Team Chimera teammate, to Simon Trendell in 22nd place. Then Oscar Mangan, Dave Baker, Ross Balfour, his fellow Ross in McFarlane in 26th. Kieran Harrison, the race 1 winner, in 27th, so he's going to be near the front of the grid for race 3. Nathan Davis 28th, Jason Stehny in 29th, and Toby Ward is going to be on the pole for the 3rd race of the afternoon. Damien Harris 31st, then Lee Berridge, Marcel Fritsch, Joachim Gorbranson fighting from stone dead last to get 34th. Rob Sutherland, Jake Blackhall, Luke Kidsley, Alex Nella, then it's Philip Johansson, then John Roberts, Matthias Sauer, Scott Malcolm, who had been hit about quite a bit in race 2, then Sean Gardner, Fraser Smith, Kip Stevens, Adam Hedgecock, then Alex Simpson, Austin Foster, Darius Neidhart, then Tyler Lugo Vickery, Mark Woodhouse, Richard Carlson, and I don't think many people were predicting this, the first car out of the race in 53rd place, it was the Pure Sims Esports driver and former BTCC champion Ash Sutton.
Yeah, indeed, and he wouldn't have expected that, and he's going to have to charge through from the back like we know he can to see if he can get a good position in the final race. We're going to go for a quick break here on the iRacing Esports Network, but we'll be back in just a few short minutes for all the action from race 3. And we're back on the iRacing Esports Network with the ARLTC. Welcome back, Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath, with Sam Kumo on the cameras. Barber Motorsports Park is set to go once again, Adam, and 30 cars reversed this time for the third touring car race of the day.
Yeah, 30 cars reversed, and some drivers towards the back end of the top 30 have been near the front in some of the earlier races. So this gives them a second bite at it, some opportunity to get a good amount of points. In particular, Kieran Harrison, who won the first race of the day, he's going to be starting inside the top 5, maybe even the top 4 for this final race of the day. So that gives him a good opportunity to maybe pick up 2 podiums and maybe start thinking about going forward from here, a chance at maybe a championship. But here is the grid on the screen. Toby Ward, who was at the front briefly in race 2. He's back at the front again here in race 3. This time he's on the pole. Then it's Jason Stechny in second, Nathan Davis in third, then Kieran Harrison, Ross McFarlane and Ross Balfour completing the top 6. 7th on the grid, Dave Baker. Then it's Oscar Mangan, Jamie Wilson in 9th for Team Chimera, and completing the top 10, Jamie Rushworth. Then it's Pete Newman, Matt Turnbull in 12th. And then 13th place, Craig Williams, Adrian Campfield, Wojciech Savinovic, Jason Cooper, Mark Johnston, Eric Mickey, Ben Gregory, and Jack Sedgwick completing the top 20. So that's how the state of play lines up there. And the rest of the grid shaping up on your screen now.
Yeah, we see it scrolling through. We see likes of Adam Hedgecock down in 46th place, Alex Simpson 47th, and a few others who will expect it better from race 3. But here we go, Toby Ward on pole. What can he do? Lights are off and the race is on. It's a good start by Staney, isn't it, off second place. And he's going to have the preferred line surely into the first corner. He does indeed. He sweeps around the outside, takes the lead. But Ward getting swallowed up already by Davies, and Harrison is going to come through on the inside surely here. If yeah, he is. He forces Ward wide. Ward goes slightly onto the grass. Harrison already up into third, and he's eyeing second place into the hairpin.
Good start indeed. Let's see if he gets it. He's looking up the inside. He doesn't put up much of a defence, does Davis? Oh, I say that. He gives him a parting compliment. And up the inside goes Ross McFarlane, the reigning champion. He's going to say thank you very much, and I think he's going to bring Ross Balfour along with him.
Wow, car 1 goes up into P2. Oh, crash. It's John Roberts.
Well, Alex Simpson, I don't think he's going to be wanting to come back to Leeds again.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
There goes Sean Gardner, and off goes Pete Newman's in the gravel. Well, his car looks like the Italian flag, but he'll be saying Mamma Mia after that one, because that was not very good at all. Didn't really see what happened to him, but not a very good result for Newman. Savinovic has got a slow down, I think, as he's trying to force his way past Mark Johnston. I'll try and get you a replay in a lap or two's time, maybe, of the hairpin incident. But yeah, as we complete the first lap, then Jason Staney leads by 0.8 of a second over Ross McFarlane. McFarlane, like I say, with car. What? Oh, Sedgwick! Oh, my word!
Just about managed to keep that on the island, and fortunately for him, he's been able to carry on his way, and now he's under pressure because up the inside there is Mickey. He was battling away with him in race 2.
Yeah, his ship was very nearly wrecked, wasn't it, Sedgwick, but managed to save it well as Savinovic goes onto the grass as he tries to make progress. Harris went onto the grass, and he's lost a position to Marcel Fridge in the battle of the yellow and black cars, but here is Thompson in 20th place, trying to get a good exit out of the hairpin as he looks to take down Mark Johnston, but he's 0.4 ahead, is the Northern Irishman, as Staney continues to lead, but it's down to 0.2 of a second. This is the this might be what happened to Alex Simpson here, possibly.
Looks like it, yeah. Something going on at the hairpin, and there he is, parks up adjacent to the 86 car there of Roberts, who's able to get back going again. Here it is. There's Norbert Leitner.
Ah. Oh, and so the boosted car got absolutely sent into the middle of the track, didn't it?
And then he had nowhere to go as a result. Also, there Norbert. Yeah, there's Leitner and a few fellow
Oh,
others
what's
there.
this? Oh, we saw smoke.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but something's happened to Jason Staney because he's lost positions to McFarlane and Ross Balfour. He was in the lead. Just 2 or 3 corners ago. And now he's through. We need to see that again, I think. Because Staney was looking comfortable. And now he might be in trouble from Harrison. But here we go into the final corner. He gets alongside, does Ross McFarlane. He goes around the outside, but he just gets a poor exit, does Staney, doesn't he? And there goes Balfour up into P2.
And now here comes Kieran Harrison, the HM Engineering car, the winner of race 1. He's already up into the podium position, so he's managed to get by the Craig setup shop car as well.
Three wide in the background going into the triple chicane. I think it sorted itself out. I think there was Ward in the middle of all that stuff, but only 7 seconds separates the top 18 cars then as they go through the 3rd lap. Oh, it's a bit wide for McFarlane. Wasn't a great turning point for the Scotsman, and Balfour looks to close in, but you know, we said earlier on, he goes wide, but he's trying to get that long cut back, isn't he? Where he can keep the momentum through the last corner. You said earlier on, though, Adam, there's a lot of different lines you can use through this circuit. There isn't really a right or wrong way to go around this track.
No, unless you're literally pinned to the inside, you can pretty much run wherever you want to around here and not lose too much time. Here is Oscar Mangan, Ross Balfour's teammate. These two were driving in convoy together in one of the earlier races, but here they are just a little bit apart, and they're still putting in some pretty decent lap times. Ross Balfour in race 1 was probably one of the quickest out of anybody in the field, just wasn't able to make most of it. And here comes... Yeah, here comes Oscar Mangan. He's going to get by Jason Stepney up the inside. He's going to get followed through as well by Dave Baker, who is in his customary 6th place, but I don't think he wants to stay there. But for now, he's positioned right behind the Craig Setup Shop car there of Stepney.
Yeah, good move by Mangan. We haven't seen a lot of him tonight, but showing his quality, the Irishman. And Stepney doing a decent job there, still in P5. But like you say, Baker, who was very quick in race 1, been looking to get the 5th place away from the Craig Setup Shop car, although he goes a bit wide through the chicane, and that might actually mean that Turnbull will be on our outside here. Here he is, Matty Turnbull, but trying to get the run in the Pure Sims Esports OBP car. Baker in the Pure Sims Esports car, so same stable but not teammates, so they are racing each other fully, it appears. And Turnbull with a good attempt to pass Baker, but can't quite get by the season 7 champion, but he's alongside him now.
Up the inside, but round the outside, if you carry the speed there, it might just work out for you, but not on this occasion. Baker almost back up the inside, and he was very sideways there.
Yeah, he nearly lost the car as well, did David Baker, but down to 7th for him then. It's funny, we thought Baker would be in the ascendancy, but Turnbull, with a great move. Fallon still 3/10 ahead. It's a great battle going on actually, involving Josh Thompson and Wojciech Savinovich. It's down for 21st and 22nd place. And they are very close together.
Campfield was very wide there.
Oh,
and there's been a crash.
Oh dear.
And that's an entangled, boosted car mess of Adam Hedgecock and Sean Gardner. Here's the replay. Well, there's a spider, but that's issues for the boosted team who have managed to somehow correct them.
So Hedge goes wide. Oh no. Well, it's the first time I think, well, maybe not the first time, but the Hedge taking out the Gardner. Let's not beat around the bush. It's not great. We'll have to leave that one alone.
They're in a bit of a fit. They're in the thick of it. The thicket. Oh, that's. Why did I bother?
It took him a while to twig that it wasn't going to go well. And then he, but then you know, yeah, never mind. Well, we'll save that one for another time.
Did you say he was the thorn in his side?
Oh. Would have grasped. Oh, there's. Oh no, what's that? That's Austin Foster.
Nearly got mowed off the track.
Yeah.
Running outside goes the Deso Pit Racing team. Oh, the Deso Pit Racing team is getting overtaken, I should say.
Would it have
And
counted if Lord Murray was in the race? I know he's not.
No. Cliff Stevens first. Dave Baker has managed to get
Oh,
by Turnbull, it looks like, and it's up in. Oh, in fact, I should say it's that on the inside goes the goes Dave Baker, but no way through in that part of the circuit.
he's
And
got through on
Jason's.
Turnbull though.
Yeah, he has, and well, if one Pure Sims car fails to get by the Crave setup shop car, there is another one waiting in line to get it done. Except this time it's the esports car of Baker that's now ahead of the OBP car driven by Matt Turnbull. So Jason Sterney trying to keep some of the best in the business behind him at the moment, and he's doing a pretty decent job of that.
Oh, he's oh dear, that was a bit sketchy though. Still with us in P5, Jason Sterney. Baker gets a reasonable exit. I don't know if he's going to be alongside. Well, maybe. It'll be close. Not quite. So Balfour's right on McFarlane again. These two are so evenly matched, I tell you. This is about as evenly matched as it can possibly be between these two. They fought to the last race for the title in the previous season. And proving once more that they're on the track together again, Adam. We've seen it so many times already this season. And this season is, it's only, what, 9 races old?
And this is brilliant. Yeah.
Oh dear.
This is brilliant to see Ross McFarlane driving for a different team this season, trying to defend his title. Ross Balfour this time caused him racing and back with an extra car to try and help him get his way to a title. Kieran Harrison, a new driver in this series and a new team as well. So plenty of stories in the top 3.
Yeah, I mentioned last week it feels like a new era of the ARLTC. Like where the new drivers that have come in this season, no disrespect to the drivers that came in last season, but these drivers have been at an absolute elite level. Harrison and Mangan coming in, and Staney's very good, and Neidhart, and there's too many to name. There's so many good ones that have come in. Simon Trendell, of course, Vala. It's a really good rookie crop, and I'll tell you what it's doing, Adam. It's really pushing the veterans to go to a higher level.
Really is, and I think we have seen some of the Pro-Am drivers also rise up through the ranks as well. Some may not even be Pro-Am drivers anymore. Oh, someone's been speared off at the back. That was
Wojciech Svidovic, I think, is it?
Oh, it was one of the free Spires cars. It was Ben Gregory. He's gone a long way into the gravel trap there, and he's got going again. Down in 29th
the country, wasn't he? He was that far off. Don't know what happened to Gregory, who he was battling with. Was he battling with maybe Vala, was it? Johnston?
About to find out. Here is the replay. Sedgwick's on his inside, Thompson on his outside, and it's the
Thompson
driver that gets him.
Yeah, I mean that's unfortunate, isn't it?
Oh, and off is Adrian Campfield. Now that is down at is that at the chicane?
Oh, it is. Wow, there's been a few people off there today. That's an unusual place to be off. But,
I know. We've been starting to memorise the gravel traps, haven't we? I don't think we've seen anyone off that far.
Yeah,
off he goes.
I'll tell you what, with F1 going to some of these tracks like Imola and Mugello and Portimao, I'm actually seeing some gravel traps being used.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing people locking up into the Rivazza and having to.
Oh yeah.
Through the kittiness of that. Yeah.
Some people will, I tell you, they'll be off down there. If you put DRS before it as well, just let them have at it. Why not? Maybe too much of a corner at the end of that straight to have the DRS open. I don't know. Oh dear. There's Stevens off again.
Nella with him as well, yeah.
Oh. Alex Nella, who...
And Stevens into the pits again. Deja vu for him. He did that in race 2, and here he is back in the pits again in race 3. He's going to be joined by Pete Newman. The Freem UK car was off at the triple chicane on this lap, and it looks like he's picked up enough damage to warrant a visit to the pit lane, as a few other drivers.
more meatballs than in a branch of IKEA, I think, in that pit lane. But you know, we've got 6 laps to go, and
It's time for the
it's a
drivers
real
to show their balls, haven't they?
Oh, family stream. but hey, cojones are needed for touring car racing. And as David Coulthard said, racing drivers do have balls, but none of them are crystal, so can't quite predict what's going to happen here. But I tell you what a great battle. Like I said, McFarlane, reigning champion, Balfour, second place last season. Harrison, new driver to the series, winner in race 1 for the first time in his tenure as a ARLTC driver.
Both these drivers are
winning a race 1. I think he may have won another race so far, but not a race 1.
top 2, McFarlane and Balfour, both named Ross as well, have both gained 4 places since the start of the race. McFarlane opens the door there, and there's been an issue at the second corner. That's Jamie Wilson in the Team Chimera car with the white and yellow and white and green flashes.
Wilson's going to be under pressure from Jamie Rushworth here in the other Freem car, Freem team. Those are the cars with the paint scheme. Like I said, the only thing I can compare it to is the Italian flag, the red, white and green there. Not in that order, of course. So this is a mess, isn't it? Let's see. So this is Staney at the front. Sorry, Williams at the front. Oh, Cooper in the gravel.
Yep, Cooper scoops off the track there by
Did he get
somebody.
tanked from behind?
I think it's probable.
Just maybe on the brake and just ended up getting a little hit. Oh, Hadfield battling hard with Rushworth now. Oh, they're side by side. Oh, Hadfield with Wilson. So he gets through. This is what I was talking about earlier, though. One car goes offline or one car makes an overtake, and then, you know, it just sends a sequence of events forward as Davies pits from what was 11th place, so damage for him, probably, or some kind of penalty.
Yeah, that's a shame for him. I'm not sure the policy in this series in terms of incident points and whether you get a penalty when you get to a certain number.
Yeah, actually. Oh, what's that side by side? Damien Harris and was it Vala going into the first corner side by side?
Very close indeed. Yeah, wrapping outside goes Damien Harris, who was one of the first cars we saw in difficulty at the beginning of the show. And now here he is trying to get some places back. He's gained 6 in race 3. He's trying to make it 7. Trying to get by the Norwegian. Preben Valo into the hairpin. He might just hit him. Well, he nearly did. He was late on the brakes and nearly collided with the TC Motorsport car.
Could say there was no way through there. I'm here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
Surprise the butt. Yeah.
If Toka is in 8th place, we're looking at him now on the screen, the Pure Sims OBP car. He's just ahead of Craig Williams, and he's just managed to get ahead of Williams. So, and flashing the lights hard is George Simmons. He knows that Craig Williams likes flashing of the lights, and so he's giving that one back well and truly for one of the times last season, I think.
They literally had them on for the whole race.
Felt like they were stuck on, didn't it? Like with that time when Rusty Laidler's pit limiter got stuck on for Spa, and he did a 6-minute lap because he couldn't unmap the button during the VLN race. As he's still flashing the lights. We know you're watching the stream. Stop it. Stop it right now. As McFarlane. Oh, now McFarlane. That's the closest gap we've seen at the front, and that's why. Look.
The top 3 still remain as you were: McFarlane, Balfour, and Harrison. But it's now just half a second between the 3 of them. And maybe don't rule out Oscar Mangan, who is that Corsin racing car, the white and orange one, just in the background lurking there in 4th place should these 3 start getting into any sort of shenanigans in the final 2.5 laps.
You wonder as well if the core, if getting that extra car up to that front battle might mean that Balfour can get a bit creative. He's right on him now, though. He's less than the 10th of a second nearly. As close as you can get without being alongside, really, for Balfour. And it is a part of the track that if you can slip alongside, you have got a chance of a move into this final section. But
it's almost as if you've got to build up the entire race to get one overtake
Oh,
done.
here we go. Oh, I wondered if he was going to try that one.
Over the line then, 2 laps to go.
You are right though. You just inch closer. That's all you can really do around the track like this. Just inching closer, and then you've got a chance for a move or not.
How the hairpin. Meanwhile, here's a fight for the top 10. We saw Cedric and Simmons were exchanging positions on the timing tower. And here is Neidhart. Oh, and Hadfield. Oh! Bouncing across the grass. We've already lost one Swift Cooper Esports car. We don't want to lose the other one. And now here comes Wilson, trying to go around the outside of the Team Chimera car. He's got his teammate also there, in Trendle, who won race 2.
We haven't lost Jason Cooper completely, but he's down in 21st place after the trip into the kitty litter. 2 Chimera cars side by side, Wilson and Trendle. Trendle from the outside line, try and get in the run into the triple chicane, see if he can get something done. And once more, then Balfour, super close.
But it's off of the hill then. When we get to the line, we're going to get the white flag in the air. Nathan Davis, who came into the pits a couple of laps ago, is back out on the circuit and is about to be lapped by the race leaders. It looks like he's got a fresh car, and the gap is 2.4 seconds. They might just catch him on this final lap of the race, and also in front, John Roberts as well. So this could get pretty interesting if they meet at the triple chicane halfway around this final lap.
It's going to be close, isn't it? I feel like there's probably enough speed in that Hesketh car to avoid that situation, especially on fresh tyres. Nathan Davis is a fast driver, so we'll see what happens there. But to the final half a lap of the day, the hairpin is the last of the very good overtaking places. But if he gets a good exit here, this is where Balfour's been the strongest, isn't it? Through the triple chicane and out onto the back of the circuit. I wonder if we can get that camera off the rear wing again, just to see how close we get. Oh, here we go.
Oh, crashing over the curve there goes Ross Balfour in second place. Now we begin our run through the S's.
Oh, this could be the one. Oh, he just lost a tiny bit of momentum over the curve. Is he going to try out the inside? Not this time, but it could be. It could be that last corner move, Adam. It really could.
Over the top of the hill. Oh, he runs just a little bit wide. McFarlane, that will give Ross Balfour just a little bit of an incentive going into the penultimate corner. He looks up the inside.
You've got to dive to the inside. You have to dive to the inside there.
Got back on the exit, maybe. I don't think he's going to be close enough.
No, he does get a better run, but it is going to be Ross McFarlane who takes the win here in the final race of the day here at Barber. Reigning champion, car 1, P1.
And it's a Ross 1-2. McFarlane heading home Balfour. Harrison makes it 2 podiums in an evening for HM Engineering. And Oscar Mago comes home in 4th. Drag race across the line there. That was Jack Sedgwick just ahead of Williams. And then Simmons in 11th. 14 places gained. Oh, and it's all kicking off after the flag.
Oh, that's after the line. Yeah, at least Williams and Sedgwick getting into it, but car still crossing the line.
In
no, that's not
place.
bad. That's not bad considering where he was.
Well, considering he had an Audi right in, pretty much in front of him, facing on.
Again, 19 places from where he started. That's actually really good for considering the problem on the first lap.
Almost,
is he the biggest gainer? Not quite. Ricard Carlson, 23 places gained.
Ricard Carlson for Hell Racers, yeah, gaining 23 to be in to finish in the top 29.
Yeah, that's good. Good from Carlson. That's from the very back. That's from 52nd on the grid.
And for Pure Sim Esports, a solid end to the evening. There's Dave Baker. He finished in P5. And also in that same shot is car 64. That is Matt Turnbull, who did very well as well in the first race of the evening and in race 2 as well.
Yeah, we've had a different kind of meeting today than normal. We've had a meeting where it was about the pressure at the front, and drivers driving for 15 laps, 14 laps at a time, not making any mistakes and not allowing the opponent in. And that's what we saw with Harrison in race 1, and that's what we saw with McFarlane in race 3. And it's good to get a meeting like that every now and again, where it's about the precision of the driving and not necessarily everyone knocking spots off each other. I enjoyed that one. Great driving on display all the way through the field.
And
Here
there's
it is.
the
Result of race 3.
Look at that, top 17 all-pro drivers. You don't often see that. I think, yeah, this race meeting and this racetrack at Barber Motorsports Park is kind of one where we really see the best at the top on a consistent basis, regardless of reverse grids. I wonder if we'll see the same next time out at Phillip Island in Australia. Ross McFarlane then wins, Ross Balfour second, Kieran Harrison completing the podium, then Oscar Mangan, Dave Baker, Matt Turnbull, then Jason Stepney, then Michael Devdoka, Jack Sedgwick in 9th, and Craig Williams completing the top 10. George Simmons just behind in 11th. 12th for Dennis Neidhart, then Adam Hadfield, Jamie Rushworth, Simon Trendle, then Jamie Wilson, Wojciech Savidovic in 17th, and then Mark Johnston, Alex Torres, and Jason Cooper completing the top 20, despite a trip to the gravel as well. That's a solid recovery drive there from Jason. Philip Johansson in 21st place, Eric Mickey in 22nd, then Preben Valler for TC Motorsport 23rd, then the two fiercely forward teammates, Damian Harris and Adrian Campfield. They're going in 2x2 here because up next, two Free Spire Motorsports teammates in Ben Gregory, who got turned off into the gravel in a collision with Josh Thompson, and Toby Ward, who was on the pole position for this one. Alex Simpson in 28th, Ricard Carlson in 29th, and Darius Neidhart in 30th. Mark Woodhouse 31st, then Tyler Vickery in 32nd, Rob Sutherland, then Marcel Fritsch, and then Alex Neller, Austin Foster there in 36th, then Matthias Sauer, Scott Malcolm, Norbert Leitner involved in some of the collisions at the hairpin at the start of the race. Then Sean Gardner, Nathan Davis, Pete Newman for Freem UK, Josh Thompson 1 lap down in the end. Not too sure what happened to Josh. I wonder if he had to make a visit to the pits for maybe too many incident points. Not too sure. Kip Stevens, Adam Hedgecock, John Roberts there, then Lee Berridge. Those were the two cars I think we saw stuck together at one point. Then Fraser Smith, Mads Borger, Luke Kidsley, Joachim Gorbranson, and then at the back, Jake Blackhall, and for the second consecutive race, Ash Sutton. I'm not too sure if he started that one, to be fair, but not the best evening for him, but he'll take solace in the fact that his Pure Sims esports cars have taken home the checkered flag in race 3.
Sorry, yeah, unless he maybe was involved in that one as well at the start that we didn't quite catch all of. Did not start, so there we go. Before Sutton complete did not start. Yeah, good strong meeting that. I enjoyed that one. Always good to see the cars going around this track. It's one of my favourite ones. Now, what do we have here? Yeah, we've got a wild Preben Valler, who's appeared then in the interview room. So we've brought him into the commentary box now. Preben Valler joins us now. Preben, welcome back to the commentary box. And the highlight of your day has to be second place in race 2. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. I'm absolutely thrilled by finishing second in that field. It's amazing.
Take us through the race then as that happened, and because obviously you had Simon was away at the beginning, but you had to get past. I think it was Scott Malcolm, wasn't it? And then you had to try and keep Josh Thompson behind. And I can tell you from experience that is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I started 7th, had a good launch, managed to pick up a couple of spaces into the hairpin lap 1. Then it was just following, I think I was 5th then, and I followed the guys in front for a couple of laps. Then they went off in the tunnel corner. So then I was second behind Simon, who was at that point 5 or 6 seconds ahead. So at that point it was very much serious behind and try and keep them there. And as you said, keeping Josh behind was excellent.
we sometimes see that new drivers to the series haven't quite raced a lot of these tracks before. Is this a track that you've done a lot of running on in the past?
No, I checked beforehand, and in total in all cars I've done 42 laps, so not an awful lot. But I managed to do a few laps in this week leading up to the race, and I think I found quite a bit of pace.
I mean, we like this track in the commentary box. Always gives quite close racing. Not necessarily a lot of overtaking, but definitely like puts the driver on the limit. Did you feel like it was, especially as we're watching your highlights from the start of race 3? Did you find that it was very, very tightly contested in there?
Yeah, it's extremely tight when you end up in the midfield. It's so hard to pass, and if you try to pass and you don't succeed, you lose 3 or 4 spots. So you have to measure up the guy in front and figure out where he's weak before you make your move. And I think Barber gives nice racing in that regard. You have a couple of critical corners leading up to straights where it's possible to get that overlap before the next corner.
Yeah, a good flowing circuit, I think, in this one, and yeah, certainly a really good test for the drivers. We're looking at next week then. Well, not next week as such, but the next.
I wish it
meeting.
wasn't. I wish it was next week.
Yeah, we're now not back for 2 weeks till the 17th of September, when we go to Phillip Island in Australia. Somewhat a different circuit to this one. So, how are you expecting to go there?
Well, as on Barber, I haven't done that many laps, and I'm looking forward to getting to know the track properly in the TCR. And I'm sure if I dedicate the time, I will be able to be there or thereabouts again. I'm very happy with how the season has been so far, and as a newcomer, it's so much fun to be able to fight with guys like Jack Sedgwick and Ross McFarlane and all those guys. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we've been impressed with your performances so far. Before we let you go, do you want to give your shout outs to your sponsors or your team, friends and family? You know, anybody you'd like to say hi to?
Yeah, I forgot her last week, so first of all, I have to thank the girlfriend who lets me do this for hours upon hours.
Good decision.
Yeah. Apart from that, my spotter Tarja, who's always there for me, is vital in terms of figuring out how to approach passes, where people are weak, that sort of thing. And also Mats and Joachim, who's in my team. Mats had an excellent second race today, so that was a lot of fun.
All right. So we wish you all the best and enjoy your week off, and then we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you.
Nice one. Preben Vala there, Adam, and good to see the Norwegian contingent coming out into force here.
Definitely, yeah. We saw a flavour of it last season with Mads Borger Andersen, but this season they've TC Motorsport have fielded a pretty strong team that on their day could spring a surprise or two. And yeah, we'll wait and see what happens at Phillip Island next time out, because that is a track that can often spring a surprise or two. And in the commentary box with us now is the man who won race 1 and was also on the podium in race 3, Kieran Harrison. Welcome.
Hello, guys.
Well, Barber Motorsports Park has really been a good evening for yourself. Started on pole managed to get the jump in race 1 to get the lead, and from then on you were able to keep Dave Baker and the rest of the field at bay in that first race.
Yeah, that one was really close. It was crucial, the move on the first corner, because I think I don't know if it was the draft or whatever, but Baker was very, very quick behind me, so I literally couldn't get away. I think the gap was 0.3 or less the whole race, pretty much. But it's quite tricky to overtake around here, so I placed my car well, and he couldn't get past. I suspect it would have been the same story had I not got him, but in reverse, obviously, with him winning. But yeah, I'm delighted to get my first win in this series. Got so close last week, leading until the penultimate lap, but I got it here, so I'm pretty satisfied.
How did you find the second race then, when after leading for pretty much the whole of race 1, you were having to do the overtaking yourself in that second race?
Yeah, it was crazy. It's always hectic in these large reverse grids, but it was made harder on lap 2 going into the downhill chicane over the curbs. Sure, what corner number it is. Everybody checked up in front of me, and the guy behind clearly forgot that it was lap 2 and just went straight into the back of me, damaged my rear and punted me into the guy in front. So I had some damage for that race, but I was ending up just inside the reverse grid, and I was thinking I'm quite happy just to sit here. If any chances at prize, I was going to take them, but I got a few incident points in the first lap, so I was just trying to take it easy, and it ended up working quite nicely to give me a good position to do well in race 3 as well.
So we're 3 rounds in now, and you've managed to get the win finally in the 3rd round of the season. Are you and HM Engineering enjoying your time in the ARLTC so far?
Absolutely, for the most part. It's a bit of a mixed bag for some of my teammates because they've had some bad luck in the reverse grid races, but generally it's great racing, it's great fun, and I'm pleased to be a part of it.
Our next time out then, we were just mentioning it a moment ago, we go down under to Phillip Island. Is that a track that's similar in nature to Barber Motorsports Park, or do you think there'll be a few more overtaking opportunities there, like the Honda hairpin and MG as well?
What I've seen of it, it looks like it'll be a bit easy to overtake, but it was much like this track. I'd never driven it before we're going to it in this series, so I'm going to have to put a lot of hours into it to get up to speed, but hopefully it suits me just as well as Barber has.
Great. Well, before we let you go, Kieran, is there anybody you want to thank, sponsors or anyone?
Yeah, of course. I'll thank you guys and all of Apex Racing League, and also HM Engineering, my team, and my 2 teammates, Norbert and Fraser.
Well done, mate. I think you've probably, with a win and a podium, probably picked up the maximum points out of anyone in the field across the 3 races today. And let's see if you can carry that forward into Phillip Island next week. Thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us today.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks.
Good to hear from Kieran Harrison there, who a win and a podium and a top 30 result in race 2 rounds off a solid evening for him there, I think.
Could be the most impressive rookie that we've ever seen. Maybe apart from Sebastian Job. Well, it's very similar to Sebastian Job.
And Alex Simpson was a rookie and finished 2nd in the title. Yeah,
that's true as well. So yeah, but definitely up there in the conversation then. Hey, and well, I'm sure he's going to do excellent things this season. The likes of Savidovic and McFarlane and Balfour and Mangan and all the rest got their work cut out for them in terms of defeating him in 2020. But yeah, that's it for basically this meeting here at Barber Motorsports Park. Like we said, no race next week, but we will be here in 2 weeks' time, like I say, with the Phillip Island round. So enjoy the week off, everyone. From all of us here at the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing League and Apex Racing TV, in fact, as well. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Good night.